Hi everybody, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Dusty Book Sniffers, and of course I forgot to do an intro for my reading vlog this week, so here I am first thing in the morning, midway through editing, going, oh, I don't have an intro. So let's get into it, shall we? Alright, well, good morning or good evening everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about the books that I've read in the past week. Now, this reading vlog goes from the 8th to the 14th. I'm trying to do 7-day reading vlogs, especially when I'm doing a readathon such as Battle of the Girl Bands, which is the brainchild of Rainy Blue Reads, and I'll link up all the information and all the co-hosts and everything underneath this video. Anyway, I am here to talk about the books that I have read. So I'm going to give you my stats first off, and then we'll get into the vlog, and then we'll close it out. So basically this week, from the 8th to the 14th, I have read a total of 6 books, which is not too bad. We've read 2 graphic novels, 1 thriller, 2 murder mysteries, and 1 middle grade. Now, the middle grade, I haven't really talked much about it because it is part of my Buddy Reads vlog, and that is the Harry Potter series. So I have talked a little bit about where I'm at and all that sort of stuff, but you'll hear more about that in my Buddy Read vlog. So you'll have to check that out towards the end of the month. The 2 murder mysteries was a Miss Fisher murder mystery, and also one of my very anticipated reads, which was Mother-Daughter Murder Night, and the graphic novels were by Charlene Harris, and I come across them came in a book racer box. I think it was the Halloween one that I got. It had all like gothic classics in it, and it had a whole heap of other ones. So I got that one, and I read that in January, and then I found the other 2 volumes on Kindle Unlimited, so I had them keyed up ready to go, so I thought I'd get them off. I completed 2 series this month as well, which is awesome. If I can keep that up, getting rid of some of the series that I have, I think I've got 29 in total, so I've taken 2 off now. That brings it down to 27, which is absolutely fabulous. And that was the Cemetery Girl series by Charlene Harris, and the other author I cannot think off the top of my head, and I'm filming on my phone. So, and the other one that I finished was the Nina Knight series by Yasmin Ango, and I come across this series, which I talk about in the vlog. I came across this series in 2021 on Kindle Unlimited. The first 2 books I rated very highly. The third book, it was okay, but not so much. But anyway, it is a series that is now off the books, which is absolutely fabulous. All right, so they are all the stats that I have for this week, and I am still currently reading a couple of books as well for other vlogs and whatnot, so you'll get to see them. And I still have a bunch of books behind me that I've got to get to for Battle of the Girl Bands. But anyway, that will be a next week's vlog. I've got quite a number of books that I'm starting this week and whatnot. But for now, let's get into this week's reading vlog. Hi everybody, and welcome back. Today is the 9th of February, and we have another day of sprints with Neva, and I think Coda might be joining us. I'm not too sure, but anyway, look at all these books that I have to read. Oh my goodness. Doesn't matter. It's fine, and they're all to read as well. Oh, there's all my Agatha Christie's down there. Anyway, we're heading out to the craft room so I can get ready. So sorry about the moving of the camera and all the rest of it. But anyway, today is the 9th. Now, yesterday I forgot to check in, and I am reading It Ends With Night by Yasmin Ango. It is the prompt for a BIPOC author. This is also a series that I'm going to be wrapping up because there's only a trilogy. So that is my first series that I'm clearing off the decks this year. I mean, I think that just about everybody wants to get rid of series, right? I sort of didn't make it a goal because you just never know how it's going to go. I have a ton of work to do today. I have some filing to do and all that sort of stuff on the computer, like downloading some stuff and getting ready to get it all into the magazine, make sure that I've got it all, tick off all the things that I've already done, and then I've got all this area here around me has to be tidied and all the things. So as you can see, I've made a hot mess this week. So I need to get all that sorted. So I figured that the best way to do that is to listen to an audiobook. So basically what I'm going to be doing during sprints is I'm going to be listening to my audiobook, doing the work that I need to do. If I've got work that needs... that it needs me to not be listening to an audiobook, that is fine. Let me just pop this up here. Alright, so basically the book that I am reading is by Yasmin Engo, and it is for, as I said, BIPOC author, and basically we're just following the storyline of Nina Knight. Now, Nina Knight works for an organisation called The Tribe that looks after the African countries and their peoples. And by way of dispatch, which is a nice way of saying assassinations. So she is an elite assassin, and we've been following her now for 3 books. And we first meet her in the first book when she's a child, and a dictator that is in her country of Ghana basically comes and destroys her village, and then the story ensues from there. And then she is sold into human trafficking. She's sold into not a great environment and whatnot, and basically she managed to escape, and then a family known as called the Knights take her in and treat her as if she was their own, and basically the story ensues from there. So I don't know how this is going to wrap up. It's wrapping up the series and all the rest of it. We've had a little bit of a love interest. We've had like other stuff coming in. We've had betrayal of the family and all that sort of stuff throughout the series so far. And so right now we're in the 3rd book, and what I've read is about 60 pages because I started it yesterday, and basically we're still reeling from the things that happened in the 2nd book, and so it's just been a continuing story. Now, I come across this book on Kindle Unlimited, and it comes with audio here in Australia, which is absolutely fabulous. And I fell in love with this, the first book. I was just enthralled by it. It was when I started doing my Read Your Kindle list in May a couple of years ago, and so I've had a new book every year. Now, this one came out last year in September, and I hadn't got a chance to read it, so I thought, why not finish off a series, use it for a prompt to steal some points, and so I will keep going with it, and I will check in the best that I can with the book, and give you my overall thoughts of this particular book and also the series as a whole. Sometimes these books can let you down when you get to this point and all that sort of stuff, so I'm hoping that that is not the case. But I really love her writing. She is my automatic go-to, check what she's got coming out, all that sort of stuff. So I'm really excited to finish this one up. All right, I'm going to head off, get ready for the rest of the day, make my cuppas and all that sort of stuff, send links and do all the things. So I will see you all on sprints, and have a great day, everybody, and I'll check in soon. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. All right, today is the 12th of February, and I had a bit of a break over the weekend and didn't really read anything. I think I listened to maybe about 2 hours of books over the weekend. I had a pretty big first week of February where I had read 8 books in total. I read and finished and logged 8 books in total for the Battle of the Girl Bands. So today I thought, you know what, I'm going to start back and I'm going to, try and get some reading done and all that sort of stuff. So the first book that I'm going to be reading, which I'm not going to talk too much about here because that is part of my Buddy Reads vlog, that is the 2nd book of Harry Potter. We're going to be finishing that off today. And then basically on Friday we'll start the 3rd book in that. So there's going to be a lot of Harry Potter stuff in the vlog for the Buddy Read vlog. So just expect that at the end of the month because I have quite a number on the go right now. So right now I'm getting ready for sprints, about to make my morning cuppa. It's pretty early and all that sort of stuff, but I am reading the book by Yasmin Engo called It Ends with Night. So I did start that on Friday afternoon, but then really didn't read much of it over the weekend. I think I'm about a third of the way through. The first book has a little bit of backstory and all the rest of it and how badly she was treated. She was taken in by the Knight family, who are the head of an organisation called the Tribe. Now, the Tribe looks after the African peoples and their countries and tries to get rid of not great guys. So this organisation aren't great either, because they're out knocking people off, but they're knocking bad guys off, okay? So it is a thriller. In the first book, she is sent to kill someone that was getting in the way of something to do in, I don't want to give too much away, but they were getting in the way, and that sort of set the premise for her story. And then the second one, you know, followed on from the first. Can't really talk about it, but there was a betrayal in that one. And in this one, it seems like we're going to be wrapping up some of the things that have been done to her over the years. She's moved further up in the organisation. She's no longer really an active dispatcher, which is what they call them themselves, like when they dispatch someone. So like, that's very final, isn't it? So she sort of is, she's got a adoptive sister, so to speak, because they took her in and treated her as her own. It's so far I've been really enjoying it, getting back into this. I meant to read this back in last September when it came out. It is on Kindle Unlimited, and here in Australia it does come with audio, which is absolutely fabulous. I have recommended this book to a couple of other booktubers as well, and they've absolutely loved it, gave it 5 stars as well. I think Yasmin Ango is definitely a author that is my automatic go-to when she brings something out. So I'm sort of following her and keeping a track on her. But yeah, I love her writing, how she draws you into the story. I love that she gives, not only, you know, is she got this character Nina Knight, who is an assassin and all the rest of it, but we're also seeing the human side of her as well. So her personal life and stuff like that. And as I said, this third book now is going into wrapping things up, because this is the final one. It actually says that in the synopsis, that it is the final one. It's a 400-page book, so I'm hoping to get through it in the next couple of days. I am doing immersive reading and also listening to the audio. So I think the audio at my current speed goes for 6 hours. So, and I've already read an hour of it, roughly an hour of it. So, and I like how to, like, we don't get a lot of we are getting a little bit of flashback in this one so far, because we are coming across people from the first book are coming back into it, because she wants to wrap those things up and all the rest of it, because the bad guys in the first book destroyed her village, kidnapped her brother, sold her into sex slavery, and all that sort of stuff. And it's just, yeah, so she's grappling with some morals as well in this one as well. So that's all I really know about it. I will check in. I don't know whether I'll check in on the midpoint, because that's pretty much what's going to be happening through the book. So I may end up just coming back unless something drastically takes a turn and I really don't like it. That would be the only way I come back in for a midpoint. So yeah, so basically I'm looking forward to reading that. And then the next one I have to read after that one that I'm going to start is it's called Mother-Daughter Murder Night. So I'm looking forward to that. That looks like a fun read. I think I just need a little, after this thriller and the heavy content, I just need something that sounds like a bit of fun. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading that. I will check in once I'm finished this one, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget, we're also doing lots of sprints as well this month. So be sure to come over and check out all of the ones that I have up, and also on Neva's channel, and check out Rainy's channel as well. You can always come and join the Discord and join the readathon as well. So come and do that. And it's never too late. Even if it's only for half a month, that's fine. All right. Anyway, I better get on with it. I need a cuppa. I need to get on with my day setting up for sprints, and I'll see you all again in the next clip. Bye. All right, good morning, everybody. It is the 13th of February, and I am out and about in the car, and I'm just going to do a check-in for It Ends With Night. So I finished with It Ends With Night yesterday, or last night I finished it. It was the final book in the Nina Knight series, and I'm not too sure how I feel about it. I actually only gave it a 3.5 star rating. It was not as good as the other ones. The other 2 books were fabulous. The first one, definitely 5 star. The second one, it was a 5 star as well, for me. And the third one, just, it sort of, it tied everything up, and it was great that it tied everything up, and I was really happy with that. So we had Brigitte come back into it, who was in the first one, who was part of a very integral part of the story in the first one. So she has come back into it, and Nina was quite angry with her because she basically sold her into slavery, into sex, human trafficking and all that sort of stuff, and sex slavery, to a really nasty dude. And anyway, so throughout the series, Nina has slowly been getting revenge on particular people that have been from the first book and all the rest of it. So in the first book, and it's really hard to talk about this, but I'll just give a brief overview of each book. So in the first book, we meet Nina as a 14-year-old girl. I think she was 13 or 14-year-old girl, and some really not nice guys had come to her village in Ghana, and basically what happened was they came in and slaughtered her entire village, and she witnessed the death of her father and her brother. In book 2, it turns out that there wasn't a complete killing of her family, and some people come back into it, including the original dude and that, and so some things were played out in there. But also in book 2, we had a bit of a inside thing happening inside the tribe. So this is an organization that Nina's part of, and she's an assassin for them. And so basically they took her in when they found her in the first book. They took her in and raised her as her own, but she became an assassin for their organisation called the Tribe, which looks after the Africans people and their countries and gets rid of dictators and stuff like that. So she basically dispatches them. So basically in the second book, there was something happening in the background, like that was happening within the organisation, and the two sisters, Nina and her sister, were trying to figure out what it was, and they pinpointed that. So we had that mystery element to it, and then we also had the revenge plot still happening and whatnot. So basically that has been the, sorry, I'll just have to move that because it's sliding. That has been the overarching theme of the books, and this one also had that revenge plot in it as well. Except this time I just think it fell short. It was just a little bit too easy, and then her parents were saying hold off and all this sort of stuff, and then it did, and the way it ended, it was not great either. I felt like it was just, it's supposed to be the final one. That's what it says in the synopsis. It's the final book in the trilogy and all that sort of stuff, but it felt like it was still a little bit open. Whether there's going to be another series that's involving some of these characters that were still left in it, maybe that is why it ended that way. I don't know. I got a lot of closure on a lot of the things that were happening in the books and all that sort of stuff. I did get closure on that part, but I just felt like the ending was a little bit too open for me. I don't know, maybe I just wanted more from it or something, I don't know. But I ended up giving it a 3.5 star. It wasn't a 5-star read. I found it a little bit slow going, and stuff that we'd already gone over as well, like there was a little bit of that. But I also understand why the author brought that element into the story, because she was trying to wrap it up, and a lot of the stuff that we were talking about in book 3 did actually happen in book 1. So I guess for some people it's really good to rehash over that and get that feeling of completeness to that's not even a word, but it feels like it's completed in some way. You got closure for each of the things and whatnot. So yeah, overall, I think the series overall is definitely a 4.5-star series for me. But book 3 sort of, for me, it just let it down. It was action packed, but it wasn't as action packed, I think. It was just more a little bit drawn out, and there was a couple of things that happened in it that I'm like, really. Yeah, but I think I just expected a little bit more because I had really, even though I'm saying I expected more, that is a me thing. It's not an author thing, because overall, if I look at the series as a completed series, it's done really well. That's why I've given it a 4.5 star. It's just the individual books I've given a little bit of a different rating, but I still enjoyed it. I still liked being back with Nina and finding out about what was going on and all that sort of stuff. And also Georgia, her, I guess you would say stepdaughter, because she, you know, she turned up in the first book and she's been throughout the whole book and all the rest of it. And we had some growth from her as well. And also Georgia, you know, was fascinated by what Nina done and all that sort of stuff and was wanting to go in that direction, but she realizes that maybe it might not be the life and all that sort of stuff, which is a duh. But still, she is a teenager and she's coming to those realizations, and it wasn't Nina guiding her either. She was coming to several realizations herself, which was really good, because sometimes, you know, you get these books where you've got a character that is part of the story, and sometimes it's not written really well, and you know, it's just sort of thrown in there for good measure, whereas Georgia wasn't. She was actually throughout the story, and how she met her and how she played into it, and it was also showing Nina's growth as a human, because when we met Nina, she was quite broken, and so we've had a lot of growth from her trauma and all that sort of stuff, and acceptance and healing and all that sort of stuff. So we've had that go through the entire books. I highly recommend this series. I have recommended this to several people and they have loved it. I just hope that the third book doesn't let them down how I was. Maybe I wasn't in the mood for it. I don't know, because I am reading some dark academia at the moment, and also a lot of like a Harry Potter, magical books and all that sort of stuff. So maybe it might not have been the right time for me. I mean, they are on Kindle Unlimited at the moment, and they come with audio here in Australia as well. The narrator is really good in the series. It's been the same narrator and whatnot. So yeah, I've been pretty happy with it. Now, I ended up using this for Battle of the Bands, girl bands as well, and I used this for stealing points from the Cheetah Girls for a BIPOC author. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I think I might have been maybe not in the mood for it, and that's why it's marked me down. But overall, the series was absolutely great. Would I read it again? Maybe in a few years when I get a bit senile and I start forgetting what I've read, maybe. But right now, no. I probably wouldn't reread it, but I would recommend it as a good series for people that like a thriller with a revenge plot, with a lot of trauma, a lot of explicit descriptions and stuff like that. Nothing that really triggered me or anything like that. It was like, well, you know, I could see why people wouldn't like reading about this, because it was a little bit, you know, graphic and whatnot. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I hope that if you do pick it up, you enjoy it too. As I said, they're all on Kindle Unlimited, and it's also a series that I finished as well. So the first one for the year, so I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so I have also, for Battle of the Bands, I've also finished Harry Potter 2, and I used that for an animal on the cover, and I think that was for Cheetah Girls as well. Sorry, Cheetah Girls. But anyway, yeah, so I've read that as well. I finished that up yesterday as well. And I'm also reading Inkblood Sister Scribe, but I don't know whether that's going to meet any prompts or anything. Oh, yes, it is. It's got a cat in it, so I'm using that as well, which I think is also from Cheetah Girls. Sorry, Cheetah Girls. Sorry, not sorry. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just, every book that I'm reading, I'm actually putting in. Now, I'm not going to talk about Inkblood Sister Scribe in this one. I will say, though, it is a fabulous book. I'm absolutely loving it. It's a magic book. It's about magical books and blood magic as well. So it's a lot of fun. I'm having a great time with it at the moment. I'm about halfway through. But you can see more about what I thought about that in my vlog that's coming out on the 22nd, 23rd, around that mark. It's coming out. So yeah, you will get to see that and what I thought, because that is for a different project. But my buddy read one is cheering along, and as I said, I have finished the Harry Potter, and the second one, we're starting the third one, and I have been using them for Battle of the Band, so that's why they're getting a brief mention here. I'm not going to go into great detail. If you want to hear what I thought about the books and all that sort of stuff, join us on Friday morning at 9 o'clock on Dusty Book Sniffers, and also Reading with Neva. Sorry, reading whenever, check out our sprints, because last week we finished book 1 and we talked about that and the differences from the movie and all that sort of stuff. So I have watched that movie as well. So make sure that you check that out. And it's been a lot of it's a lot of fun. And the next one, I think we're breaking it up into thirds. There was a bit of discussion in the Voxer this morning, so we'll be breaking that up into thirds. So that's going to take us 3 days of sprints. And as the books go on, they will get longer and longer. But if you want to hear our thoughts about it, you can tune into the sprints, which are also Battle of the Girl Band sprints as well. So if you need to get some reading done, come along and join in that fun. And also and also we have a buddy. I also have a buddy reading vlog coming out. So I've been doing a lot of buddy reads this year. I have been. So I'm incorporating them into for the month, all the books that I'm buddy reading with people. So and you'll get my thoughts about those and on what I thought about them and all that sort of stuff as well. All right, I am home. I'm going to go inside, make myself a cuppa, and sit down and read a couple of hours I've got a couple of hours up my sleeve. So I'm going to read some more of this book here, and I'm also starting on so I'm going to read about an hour of this, and then I'm going to start on a Mother-Daughter Murder Club, which is the next book that I'm using for Battle of the Girl Band. Hi everybody, welcome back. Alright, so I am about to start Mother-Daughter Murder Night by Nina Simone. This story, I read the synopsis on this, and I don't normally do that when I go into murder or mysteries or thrillers or anything like that. But this is a fun, fresh, twisty whodunit about a grandmother, mother, daughter trio who work together as amateur sleuths to solve a murder in their coastal Californian town. So basically we've got Jack, who's the teenager. We've got Lana, who is a high-powered businesswoman and proud of her achievements in the LA real estate empire that she has built. And then we've also got her daughter, which is her daughter's Beth. Beth is her daughter. So basically we have the 3 characters in this. They are going to have to learn to get along, apparently. So Lana is recovering, resting up in a small coastal town with her daughter and her granddaughter, and basically her granddaughter stumbles across a body and becomes the prime suspect, and Lana takes it upon herself while recuperating. I believe she has cancer. And so she's pulled on her wig, and she's going to help her family to find out who the true murderer is and all that sort of stuff. And in the meantime, according to the synopsis, they uncover a web of lies, land disputes, family vendettas, and so forth and so on. So it sounds like a fun time, but they must all learn to trust one another. So there's obviously some family issues there with trust and all that sort of stuff. So it sounds like it's going to be a fun time, but I just wanted to check in, let you know that I'm actually starting this. Today is the 13th, so I've still got a couple of more days of this reading vlog, so hopefully I can get this done today. It is very rainy here today and overcast, so it's a perfect day. I've done all my chores, I've done all my posting, I've done most of my filming. I've got a few extra things to do a bit later, but I thought I'd take a break, have some lunch, and start this. I'm looking forward to it. I've actually had this on my shelf for a while and have been meaning to get to it, and just it came in at the end of October. A lot of the Reese book club ones, when I order them from Amazon, they seem to be either a pre-order or they go on back order, so I end up having to wait for them, so I never get to really read them in the month that they come. But so this is another one from this. I think this was September's, I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, I'm going to get into it, and I'll check in at the midway point and let you know how it's all going. Good morning everybody, and welcome back. Today is February 14th. That means it's Love Day. I don't usually celebrate Valentine's Day, but for all those out there that do, happy Valentine's Day, and I hope that you are getting spoiled by your loved ones, or, you know, by your best friends and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, it is super early in the morning, and I have just woken up, and I sat up pretty late last night, Let me just see if I can't get this sitting in place. All right, got that sitting in place. All right, I sat up pretty late last night and I have a huge day today. I have sprints this afternoon at 2 o'clock and so by the time you see this video, they're already been done and dusted. So I'm reading The Colour Purple a bit later on. Okay, so I sat up pretty late last night and finished off a book. I started it yesterday and I finished it. I actually did immersive reading with this. It was actually quite a relaxing day yesterday. It's still raining. So it's still one of those days. So I'm struggling to get with the program this morning. I have a lot of magazine work to do today, sort some stuff out. We had a bit of a glitch with that. So I'm trying to sort that out. Hopefully that will get remedied today. But yeah, anyway, yesterday I got frustrated with it and I had to walk away. So yesterday afternoon I made myself a cuppa, I made myself some oatmeal biscuits. I forgot to film me making them. I will get better at B-roll. This is my goal for this year, to get better and make sure that I'm ready to film when I'm doing something other than reading. No, I'm hopeless at it. I'm absolutely 100% hopeless at it. Anyway, that's beside the point. So I started Mother-Daughter Murder Night yesterday afternoon. It was probably about 4:30 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon that I started it. So I wasn't too sure whether, like, I'm really excited for this, and I was really excited for this rather, and I had it sitting on my shelf for ages. It's Reese's book club. I'm trying to read them each month, but I think I said in the last clip that I'm struggling to get them. So I'm still actually waiting for, I think, November's. It's either November or December's, and we're already in February. Like, they cannot tell me when I'm going to get it, and other places are sold out as well. So it must be a damn good book is all I can say. Oh, they didn't do a good print run. But anyway, I got this. I think I ended up receiving this late October, and I've been wanting to read it since then. I didn't want to read it during the Get a Clue. Well, one, it didn't match any of the prompts anyway, and then come Christmas time, I was so busy with Vlogmas and all that sort of stuff, I just didn't have time to read it. So I thought, you know what, I'll just don't worry about it and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, I got this, and I had originally had this on my TBR, and let me just grab the paper. I do have that just sitting there just conveniently, because I don't put stuff away. I originally had this, oh, this is not my original one. I ended up doing it. I think I had this down as an anticipated read as well. So I ended up using it for the steal from, let me look, who did I take this from? The Spice Girls. I ended up taking this from. So yeah, so an anticipated read, which I've used a few of those throughout the readathon. Now, I don't know how I really feel about this book. I was expecting a little bit more, the way a lot of people had raved about it, but it was still a great book. Like, I thought it was going to be a 5-star read, to be honest. I ended up coming in at a 3.75. I do, if I'm not sure that it's a 4 and I'm not sure it's a 3.5, I do use quarter stars and whatnot. Rarely though, but it ended up being a pretty decent book in the end. It was a little bit so I wouldn't say it is a fast-paced book. It was steady. It just had its moments where it took off a little bit and then it just steadied down again and all that. You know the vibes I'm trying to say here. We have the grandmother who is Lana, we have the mother who is Beth, and Jack, short for Jacqueline, is the teenage daughter. Now, the teenage daughter is quite proficient in kayaking and stuff like that, so much so that she works for a local company that takes out tours in the slough. And it's from what I can gather, I don't know, we call it like a river or whatever, but from what I can gather, it's a river that has creeks that come off properties and all the rest of it, and it's tidal. So I would have just called it a tidal river, but apparently it's called a slough. Anyway, I was a bit confused by that, wrapping my head around that language, but anyway, because I kept going river in my own head. However you get through a book, right? So yeah, so we've got this, a dead body turns up. We find this out very early on in the book. We know that Lana is sick. We don't know her progression of sickness until a little bit further into the book. So we know that she does have that in the first chapter, 2 chapters, we find out that she has cancer. And so if you do not want to read about cancer, specifically brain or lung cancer, then probably steer away from it. But it's not highly focused in there. It just, I would even go as far as to say it's a little bit glossed over, because yeah, they say that she's sick and all the rest of it, but at the same time she's out super sort of thing. So I would say that it's not harped on. For me, it didn't bother me reading it at all, but someone else might be a bit triggered by that. So I will just preface it with that. Other than that, it was a great little whodunit. We've got Jack, who is working at the kayak place, and on one of her trips out, she finds a dead body. And then, of course, because she found the dead body, then she is accused of being... she's not accused. She's a prime suspect, because that's usually how police procedural goes. The person that finds the body is usually a suspect as well. So, they have questions and all that sort of stuff. So there was a little bit of... Lana getting in, going at the police and all the rest of it. And the reason why Lana is such a pivotal part of this story is because she's had to go and live at her daughter's place because she's sick. She has no one else, and they have a strained relationship. So this is, while it is a whodunit, it is also a healing story as well, of mother and daughter trying to heal their past and what her mother did to her, like what Beth's mother did to her when she was younger and all that sort of stuff. So we get a lot of that warm and fuzzy feeling. There's not a lot, but you're hoping that they mend their relationship and whatnot. So basically it's just a little bit of, the family drama, trying to sort that out. But at the same time, they're finding out all these secrets and secret land deals and all this other stuff, and people are getting accused left, right, and centre, and whatnot throughout the book. So it was a little bit of a push and pull between the family drama and all the rest of it. And then we had other family drama come into it as well. So it was quite an interesting read. I actually couldn't put it down. I went to a page 150 in my first sitting, and then I put it down to go and cook dinner. And the whole time I was cooking dinner, I wanted to just immersively read this because it was a highly anticipated read. And so the whole time I was cooking dinner, which didn't take me long, I'm thinking about the book. So I didn't end up turning the TV on at all yesterday. I ended up reading this, and then at about 7:30 I went to bed, and I was finished it by 10:30. So it didn't take me long to read it at all. I actually really loved it. I highly recommend it to anybody that likes a whodunit that involves, amateur sleuths and all the rest of it. It was bordering, I wouldn't say, I guess you could say it was a cozy, because there wasn't a, I guess you could say it was a cozy, I would say it was a cozy, yeah. That it was in a small town. You've got 3 amateur sleuths. You've got a little bit of family drama there and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I would actually categorize this as a cozy whodunit. And so I highly recommend it to anybody that enjoys that sort of stuff. And I'm glad that I read it in the end. And as I said, I gave it a 3.75 star, because it wasn't quite a 4-star. There's a couple of places that it fell down for me. One was how annoying the grandmother was. She annoyed the crap out of me. And I think that was more a me thing, because I have a strained relationship with my mother, and I don't think I'd want to patch things up with my mother. So, and I laugh about it because it's been 20 years. So I've worked through all of that and whatnot. But yeah, I found her to be annoying, just trying to come in and control everything. And then I sort of was sitting there going, she's really annoying me. Is she really annoying me? Am I that way? Made me question myself a little bit. So, so I don't like Lana. But in the end, Lana is you end up, rooting for Lana and all that sort of stuff, and for Beth and for Jack as well, to get some normality into their life and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoy it too. As I said, 3.75 stars, and I'm glad it's off my TBR now. I'm actually going to give it to my daughter to read, because she likes a little bit of a mystery whodunit every now and again. Not very often, but every now and again. It's probably not dark enough for her though, to be honest. All right, so that is that one. And now I'm going to move on to another mystery. Let me just grab the book and we'll do the intro for that. All right, so the next one that I'm going to read is a Bryony Fisher mystery. This one I cannot remember. I think this is book 19 or something in the series. So I'm not reading these in any particular order. I'm just, as I get them, I'm just reading them because I've watched enough of the TV show and I've read enough of her books now to know what the character's about and who's who in the zoo and whatnot. So this one is A Death in Dalesford. Now, for those that don't know who Kerry Greenwood is, she is an Australian author, and so most of these, all of these books that I've read so far have been set in and around Victoria, which is a state here in Australia. So the Bryony Fisher ones, they're set in the 1920s, and basically, I love them. Like, they get a bit frustrating sometimes, but I don't mind sitting down every now and again. Now, I'm going into another sort of whodunit, cozy. Well, no, not really cozy, because there's obviously adult content and stuff in there. To me, they feel like cozy. Anyway, I'm going into this one because I'm in that mood for the cozy mysteries and whodunits and all that sort of stuff. So this particular one, on the back it says here, surrounded by secrets, great and small, the formidable, Bryony Fisher returns to vanquish injustice. When a mysterious invitation arrives at her house from an unknown Captain Herbert Spencer, Bryony's curiosity is excited. Spencer runs a retreat in Victoria's Spa country for shell-shocked soldiers of the Great War. It is a cause after Bryony's own heart, but what could Spencer want from her? So basically, her and Dot go off to the spa, and that's where I'm not going to read anymore because generally they have a little bit of spoilers and it just takes the excitement away. So yeah, this is another one off my shelf. I've got it from the Kingaroy book fest that they have here every March, and so I'm pretty excited to get that off my shelf as well. It was one I was considering because I hadn't picked any of them up for a while, and I was considering getting rid of this. I don't know what prompt I'm going to end up using it for, but when I come into it for the check-in, I will let you know. Words today are escaping me. Oh my God. So anyway, I'm going to get stuck into this. It's not a very big book. I'll probably finish this today as well. I'm going to listen to this while I'm doing some of the layout and whatnot, which is boring as a bat poop. On the layout side of the magazine, it's just a lot of cut and paste and drop and drag and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to get stuck into that. Listen to this while I'm having my morning coffee, and I will see you at the check-in. Well, hi everybody, and welcome back. All right, today is the where I'm going to be wrapping up this weekly vlog. So it's been a huge week. I've read lots of books, but I'm going to talk about the Bryony Fisher book that I finished yesterday. Basically, this book is let's for a moment just gaze upon this cover. How gorgeous is this? I love the covers of the Bryony Fisher series. Now, this is book 21, and of course we have Bryony, we have Dot, and we have a few other characters in this book as well. But the main two characters are Miss Fisher and Dot, her lady's maid. While and the sort of the dynamic between I get like a Sherlock Holmes and Watson sort of vibe of their characters. So in public, Dot is very formal and all that sort of stuff, but behind closed doors they are quite close friends and whatnot. So I would like to just say, like, this is, as I said, this is 21 in the series, and if you've watched the TV series or you've read a couple of her earlier books, then you'll have a feel for what her character is about and all that sort of stuff. So can you jump in at 21? Yes, you can, but there might be a few little spots that you go, oh, I don't know what the dynamic is here or whatnot. So I recommend that you maybe read the first 2 or 3, bearing in mind that the books have actually got better as they've gone on. Kerry Greenwood is an Australian author. I believe she lives in Victoria. She was born in Victoria, and most of these books are set in Victoria. At least the ones that I've read anyway. The series starts out with a book called Cocaine Blues, and also does the TV series. So basically, if you start there and read a couple of books, then you'll get a feel of who Dot is and who Miss Fisher is and all the rest of it. So Miss Fisher has a fairly blessed life. She is a private investigator that oozes sexuality and confidence and does not care, considering it's set in the 20s, does not care what anybody thinks about her lifestyle, how she lives or anything like that. She has an ongoing lover, and I think his name is Lynn. Oh, I know his first name's Lynn. I can never remember his last name. But anyway, his name's Lynn. So she has an ongoing lover. And there's little scenes that you get throughout the book of them together and all that sort of stuff. So she can be quite promiscuous as well. So just bear that in mind. And Kerry Greenwood is not shy about saying what she's thinking. It is on the spice level. For the spice scenes, it's like a 1 chili. Like it's not closed door, but yeah, it's not alluded to. There are some descriptions in there. This one has actually those ones. So I do have some notes down here and that. So basically, as I said, if you've read, I'm going to assume when I'm doing this book review that you've never read this book. Okay, so as I said, she's an Australian author. Miss Fisher is a private investigator. She's sexy, she's confident, and she doesn't give a rat's backside about what anybody else thinks. She has 3 adoptive children. The early books that I've read, she only had 1, and then slowly these kids have been added into the mix. I can only assume as we've gone on, but in this book she's got 3. And so, like always, murder and mystery follows Miss Fisher wherever she goes, and also in her hometown as well. So she lives in Melbourne, and in Melbourne there's a mystery happening where there is a young schoolgirl found drowned, and basically her kids are sort of trying to help work out what's going on and with the police officers in Melbourne. Meanwhile, Miss Fisher, or Phryne, I can't pronounce her name. I don't know why. It doesn't matter how much I hear it on audio, it just won't come out of my mouth. So I'm just going to call her Miss Fisher. Miss Fisher and Dot head off to a spa in country Victoria, basically. Lots of farmland and all that sort of stuff. Now, the spa is dedicated to World War One vets and helping them to get over shell shock and all that sort of stuff. So Phryne is actually considering donating some money towards the cause and all that sort of stuff. But as true to a Miss Fisher mystery, when she gets there, suddenly there are people that are dying, seemingly look like an accident, but turns out it's murder. And so she's on the hunt for a murderer. And we also have another mystery happening while they're there as well. The women are just disappearing off farms. So basically, just disappearing without a trace. So basically, we just follow the story from there, and we work out who's done it and all that sort of stuff. So Miss Fisher always goes a little bit deeper, a little bit off the tracks every now and again, in my opinion. And so she's finding out the who, the why, the where, the what, and all that sort of stuff. And she's in the thick of it, and she is not shy of holding someone to gunpoint either, I will say. So overall, the book, as I said, the book is set in the 1920s. We have a lot of wit and humour, and it just really dry humour as well is thrown into it as well. We've got a mix of different characters, a mix of different accents. It is very much focusing on some of the Irish and Highlanders in this one. She is a very, very strong female character. So if you like whodunits with a strong female character that exudes, that just shines above everything else and has a lot of confidence in everything, you're going to love this book. Now, these books don't get rated very highly from me. They are just a good filler book, and I do like to throw books like this in every now and again. But it is a solid 3.5 star. You will have a fun time reading it. It's not it's a middle of the road book for me. Like, when you consider the books that I read a lot of fantasy and all that sort of stuff. But every now and again, I love to just go down to these whodunits and whatnot, and I do love them. I love how these are written as well. They read really fast as well. Like, I polished this off in an afternoon with the audio and immersive reading. If I'm going to be talking about a book on my channel, I tend to immersive read it a little bit more than what I normally would do with these. But yeah, I absolutely love Miss Fisher. She's just, I just love her. I would emulate her for sure. I just think she's absolutely fantastic. I just love her personality. It comes across in the in Kerry Greenwood's writing and all that sort of stuff. I am not sure how many are in the series. I've never actually checked, but I believe that Kerry Greenwood is still writing. She has had some health issues of late. I went and checked out her Facebook page earlier in the week. Because I seen when I did a search for it come up about some, there was a little bit of a blurb there about some medical issues health issues that she's been having. So she's probably slowed down a little bit on her writing, and whatnot. But I am looking forward to, I've just been buying these secondhand, and I'll just keep trying to find good conditions of them in secondhand. My husband actually loves these as well. He also watches the TV series. He actually put me onto these. He goes, you should get the Miss Fisher mysteries. They're really good. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, they're great. They're fun, they're witty, and all that sort of stuff. So this was this author was a recommendation from him. And I can assure you that does not happen very often, because his reading tastes are polar opposite to mine. He likes a lot of sci-fi and all that sort of stuff, whereas I read across all genres. But he is open to reading books that I suggest to him. I haven't got him to read the Twilight series back in the day. So yeah, he's also read the True Blood series as well. He doesn't mind a good vampire story and whatnot. So yeah, but if you haven't picked up and you like a whodunit with a very sexy, confident woman in it, then you're going to really love these. I highly recommend that you pick them up. And I also got a recommendation, which I'm going to look into a little bit further. I'll have to go back to the Sprints and check it out. I was on Sprints yesterday with Leandra, Brittany, and Rainey and Kelsey. We were all there for the Battle of the Girl Bands, and I said that this is what I was reading when I popped in, and Leandra gave me a recommendation that set in the 60s, I think she said, and it's actually Miss Fisher's niece. So I'm going to go and have to check those out and see what they're about, because that would be good if... basically it was a spin-off series off the TV series, I think she said, and then from the TV series they've written the books, and it's a different author, but I'd be interested to go and see them. And she said that she's read the first one, and said that she really enjoyed it. And I have enjoyed everything that Leandra has recommended to me as far as mysteries and stuff like that, so I definitely trust her when it comes to that sort of thing. So yeah, it might be another series that I might be able to put my husband onto. So I'm going to check out those, but I have to go back and have a look at the Sprints and all that sort of stuff. All right, so I'm going to go and set up out the front. I've got my coffee now. I'm going to go and set up out the front, and we'll wrap this vlog up in just a moment. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I do hope that you enjoyed the vlog. I had a fun time reading these books, and it was really good to go into the murder mysteries for a while. I do swing around on all different sorts of things. I do historical fiction and classics and all that sort of stuff. So there is always a good mixed bag of books that I'm reading. I'm trying to figure out a formula for my reviewing, and I think I like... for if I've read an author before, assuming that you've never read that author and doing it that way as I did with the Phryne Fisher book that I did. Obviously, I will tweak that a little bit more. It's always evolving and always growing. But I just like to say thank you to everybody that's hung out with me this week on Sprints, in Instagram, on Voxer, with Buddy Reads and all the things. I'm just having a fabulous reading month, and I hope that you are too. But as I said, that is it from me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and remember, keep turning those pages, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.